Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all having a lovely week. Spring has arrived. Right, today's video is going to be a bit of a mix, but let's start with Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Now, yesterday, when the Sun, I think it was the Sun, said she was spotted out at a farm market, but there was no pictures, I was like, oh God, that's a faux pas. But then by the evening, of course, out came the video. And I thought, I just loved that. She looked so carefree. And I will be doing a follow-up video on Graham's channel because Graham has had major surgery, like Catherine, not the same as Catherine, but to talk about the realities of, because I've seen people online criticising why is she carrying carrier bags. They're quite lightweight carrier bags. They're not heavy. And having been through all this with Graham, you know, we have some experience of this. So we'll be doing a follow-up on that later today, probably. I thought she looked divine, happy, well on the mend. And isn't the world going absolutely mental over it? So I go on the Daily Mail comments, which normally are quite spicy, and they point out exactly the same things as I'm thinking about today. The Daily Mail comments are a deluge of I don't know what. Conspiracy theories that it wasn't really Catherine or even William in that video. And it was too grainy and it was from a distance. I mean, it was a member of the public filming it. So what do they want? It apparently wasn't a paparazzi shot. Now, I don't know who that person sold it to, which news agency, because when you see things like Backgrid or TMZ or something like that, it doesn't mean that they had a camera crew there that did it. It means they bought it. We know in the case of Meghan, it's almost invariably Backgrid. Now, I am the queen of conspiracy theories. I actually pride myself on my conspiracy theories. I love going down rabbit holes and I love considering all options without going completely crazy, but I love a conspiracy theory. And the woman that I see in that video is Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Now, I could be proved wrong, you know. Maybe someone's going to film a Sash Squad or whatever they're called, or a Bigfoot, and I'll be proved wrong that we haven't actually yet had a successful video footage. But I am pretty certain that is the Princess of Wales. Without makeup, in her face, her cheeks, that's exactly how I see her, because I've been watching her for years. And I remember a photograph of her years ago when they went up to Balmoral and someone had taken a photograph of her, William and the children getting out of a Range Rover, I think. And there was a photo of her, she had a sort of a grain of wheat thing, you know, and she was sort of staring up into space, looking a little bit daft, I must say. No makeup, just got out of the car, long journey, and just sort of looking a bit dazed. And I've seen lots of photographs of her like that. Whereas I think what's happened is the American perhaps audience and other audiences are used to seeing her full makeup. You know, those are the type of articles that they look at. Whereas, you know, I look at all photographs of all the royal family all of the time. So, and William, I mean, he's got a baseball cap on. That's William. That's William and Catherine. And is it now going to turn into this thing? Because we had this friend, I won't name, who is convinced that Paul McCartney died back in the 1960s. And we said, okay, you know, we'll go along with this. Can you explain? And he went, yeah, it's easy, because there was an album where they were crossing a road and Paul McCartney didn't have shoes on, and he went, there. And we went, okay, still not quite getting where you're coming from with this. And he said, well, it's easy. The word dead has an A in it, and so does the name Paul. And we were like, okay. Didn't really know what to say, you know. It was one of those awkward moments. And it's a very, very good friend of ours. But he does tend to, I don't know. So apparently the Sir Paul McCartney that we see today isn't actually Sir Paul McCartney. It's a doppelganger who took over from the much younger, genuine Paul McCartney, who died in the 1960s, right? As I say, I do go along with conspiracies. Or I don't actually like the term conspiracy because everybody has the right to question. Everybody has the right to examine. As we all know, there are some weird anomalies that we all look at. And if there is some basis or there are some awkward questions, then yeah, I do tend to think, I'm wondering what's going on here. But to me, that's quite clear. That's the Princess of Wales. And people are like, why is she carrying bags? Well, her surgery was late December, early January, I think. We're now mid-March. So going by Graham and his treatment, of course, in the initial stages, he wasn't lifting anything. Nothing at all. But when you've had surgery, they want to get you up and about and moving around as much as possible. They want you drinking lots of fluids. They want you eating food. The exercise is a big thing. And then over time, they did say start to lift things. And about a month ago, he's got these little tiny dumbbells. And he just does this. He does some lifting with that. So, you know, a couple of paper bags that look like they've got, I don't know, a twig of heather in them and maybe a wicker doll or something. I don't know what you'd buy at Windsor shop, not dissing Windsor shop, but it doesn't look to me like heavy lifting shopping. She looked carefree, she looked happy, she's on the mend. I told you she'd be back. And then these conspiracy theories, I suppose, maybe they feel stupid. So now they've got to go, that's not really Catherine, that's not really Catherine. Okay, so even when she appears, full presentation at an event, they're going to be going, that's not Catherine, that's Photoshop, that's not Catherine. When she speaks, that's not Catherine's voice, no. So perhaps she will become like Sir Paul McCartney, as we all know and agree, died many decades ago because he didn't have any shoes on, and there's an A in Paul and an A in dead. I'm not making this up. You guys must have seen those kind of conspiracy theories about Sir Paul McCartney. Now, what did I tell you about Meghan's Instagram? That when the first launch comes, the initial rush will be in the first 24 hours. And I just checked. And she now has the grand total of 542,000 followers. So it didn't exactly get lit, did it? Unlike Catherine, wow, kapow. Meghan must be livid. I see puff pieces about Meghan's tried to reach out to Kate. I'm reaching out to Kate to give her support. She's finally realised, stop slagging off the Princess of Wales, be nice to the Princess of Wales, but it's too late, Meghan. It's too late because Endgame already came out. Spare already came out. You already did the Netflix thing and you already did Oprah. So I'm afraid it's gone, done, dusted. The royal website. Yes, I have seen. Sue Smith just happened to come up on the telly last night. We thought, yeah, Sue, go for it. And at the stage that she'd done that video, I think they'd taken both Harry and Meghan's bios down. But then I checked it and they put this joint, much shorter edited bio up. Now, okay, yes, that's a good thing. I actually quite like the photograph of Meghan and Harry. And I like the fact it's a much shorter bio, but they still shouldn't be there as working royals. They are not working royals. Speaking of which, now, a lot of people have said that this Instagram thing of Meghan's goes to a website, but you've got to put in an email or something and join something called a wait list. Wait for what? I don't know. I've never had that on any website I've ever been on before. And then products will appear later. I've also seen some bizarre stuff on Twitter where there's tote bags for $2,000 and mugs and stuff with the moniker on it. And to me, it really looks like, you know when a YouTuber has merchandise, you know, you look below, I don't do it, but you look below and you can buy, for example, Murky Meg, you can buy t-shirts with Murky Meg, mugs, etc., etc. To me, that's exactly what all that stuff looks like. You know, it takes like hardly any time to set something like that up. Why years of effort? And then I read her bite back kind of piece in Vogue. Vogue, who on Twitter are really, you know, they're tweeting back. They're tweeting back in her defence. People magazine as well. Tweet. They're going crazy. I mean, talk about losing credibility as publications. Anyway, this bite back was kind of, what's wrong with Meghan endorsing other people's products and being an influencer when the royal family are the ultimate influencers, which is actually true. The royal family have always been influencers. For example, we can judge fashion. If I watch a period drama, I look to see what the women are wearing particularly, and the men, because you see what the monarch of the day was wearing. Basically, the monarch of the day set the tone. Perhaps not so much these days because we've got the internet, but in olden days, they only had whatever the monarch was wearing, and that's what everybody else wanted to wear. So Queen Victoria, early days, massive hoop skirts, and then later on, the bustle, Edwardian. Queen Alexandra was more the bustle. Queen Mary, hems started to come up. So they have always been trendsetters. However, Meghan says, not Meghan, sorry, Vogue, it's not Meghan, is it? It's just Vogue sticking up for her, said they wanted to draw the comparison with a royal warrant, right? So some products that members of the royal family buy, they are allowed to put the royal warrant on their product. So Meghan's kind of likening herself to that. Well, so she's going to give the moniker Arrow, American something orchard, whatever it was, and I wondered if she's going to do investitures as well. I dubbed the American Riviera Orchard Award. So instead of having MBEs and OBEs, people can have arrows. She could have a little arrow that she can pin on them after she's done an investiture, after she has endorsed their product, of course. So it seems to me she's not going to be selling her own products. I mean, I might have got all this influencer stuff wrong, because I don't watch influencers. I don't really need an influencer to tell me what to eat, how to cook, how to dress. Oh, I can't cope today. I must check my influencer to see what I must be doing and saying and wearing. I must be in fashion. No, I'm not really that weak, feeble-minded, and I dare say none of you guys are either. So it seems to me that Meghan has set up her own court. All right, and I mean, I looked up people who have paranoid delusions, and it kind of fits a little bit. And I do wonder what's going on there. Can't wait for her horror film series to come up. I really want her to do that. Really, really want her to do that. But in the meantime, I suppose we just carry on watching. But I haven't really been watching her like the rest of the world. Nobody's been interested in Meghan. Everybody has been interested and are completely obsessed with Catherine. Wow, that is not going to make a certain lady happy. And it makes me wonder how long WME are going to put up with her. That's if she's with them, because think about it. Why is she doing the Instagram thing? I can't believe there are millions of people sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for the Netflix docu-series to come out about how she bakes a cake or picks lemons from her garden. Speaking of lemons, I've got about 2,000 of them keep falling into my garden. I'll have to watch to see if she does anything with lemons and cooking. So there's Meghan, and I mean, it really is oblivion, isn't it, compared to the Princess of Wales. And yes, I've seen the wild conspiracy theories, and it seems to me really a lot of them are very angry that Catherine still has an awesome figure, looks awesome, looks healthy, has come through this. So all those little prayers for something, a position, a vacancy to come up so someone else can step in to be next in line for the throne. Not that titles mean anything to Meghan, because women should be linked, was it, and not ranked. Well, anyway, as always, thank you very much for listening. Look forward to reading your comments in below. As it's spring, we have been extremely busy. I've repainted the staircase. I have been sorting so many things out in the house, you wouldn't believe it. And we will be back on the boat soon.